Back into the action, guys. Just raised on the button first hand after the break and got jammed on, unfortunately. It's pretty close there. These guys are probably jamming a bit, but I think we probably get enough folds for it to be profitable. I am just eating at the moment, so I won't be talking too much. Sorry guys, gotta eat. I think well, I don't think this is in our best interest to call here, even though we probably have the best hand a decent percentage of the time. Or is it? Yeah, I just feel it's probably not. I mean, if we blow off 115, we're back to 200. We've got a bit of a buffer on the field. I'm just thinking if we could turn this hand into a bluff in some way. You know, if we don't lead turn, it's conceivable that we have fours, or ace four, or 4-5, or king 4 of hearts, or 4-6 of hearts, or something. I think probably give it up now. This guy could actually have, I think, hearts some of the time. King, Jack, King, 10 of hearts. Wow. Interesting spot here. Definitely going to bet. Sickest would be here if we somehow run into like ace 7 of spades or something, but was a good turn. Bet pretty hard here. It's not impossible that he actually has a hand like 7-8 of spades or something. I think if he does, he probably shoves or raises here. Gives it up. He might have had a small pair like fives. Maybe he made a good fold with the jack. I don't think he can fold a jack. That's why I was trying to set it up for a river jam. He might be realize what I was trying to do, but I don't think so. But it did kind of remind me a little bit of a fold I made yesterday when I folded Queen 10 on the 10-9-7 board and the turn was repeat 9. If you guys saw that, then it's kind of a similar spot. Interesting that Raja folded before after that turn bet. It's going to be pretty hard to win after that. Turn. I don't think we can quite fold there. I mean, it's pretty close, but he's just so short. You know, he was was he M5 or something? No action with the aces, unfortunately. Yeah, it was really close with the pocket fives before. Even though I think we're ahead a lot of the time. I just feel it's, you know, most of the time going to be a flip. We could be crushed, but most of the time a flip. And something that we're being able to do at the moment, and something that you generally can do on a final table, is you can actually leverage your stack in a way that puts people's tournament equity at risk, but you're not actually committing, whether it be your own stack or an effective stack. And I think that's what we've kind of seen, you know, with some of the 3 and 4 bettings and barreling. And I mean, obviously the last hand we had the nuts, well, the virtual nuts, second nut flush, but you know, if we had have just been barreling there, let's just say, you know, we would have picked up that dead money without necessarily a showdown. Wow. It was a weird hand. And that's something that you can do, you know, you can attack the sort of 8s, 9s, 10s, 11s, 12s with 3 bets. You can attack the short stacks with opens. You know, you can do all that sort of good stuff and get good leverage against stacks without necessarily committing. I mean, you might be able to appear to be committing, but you know, that's all part of the leverage. Irish tried to do that before with his 4-bet when he reclicked it. I didn't really like the play there, I must admit. You see it there, you know, this guy's short. This guy can't really do much defending. He's pretty much in jam or fold mode. And this guy here is shorter, so he's probably going to fold and just say, hey, I'll wait for this guy to bust. We can do all these things and build our stack without taking a big risk for half our stack. And in pocket fives, it was a pretty big risk for half our stack. Meanwhile, war rages over here. We're coming 3 or 5, of course. It's a 33 rebuy. 1200 up top. Four nine suited. Time for Irish to jam us, perhaps. He does indeed. I think I'm going to give that one a miss. Aces, I'm going to play aces. Pretty tough spot with the 9s here if we get raised or jammed on. I think if Irish jammed us, I'd probably take it. Interesting that he just donked out. I think I will bet here against this guy. Just smallish. Check raise here isn't too bad, but you know, ace, queen, diamond, jack, king, sort of good barreling turn cards. Problem is Samurua doesn't actually fold, so it may be better to actually wait for the hand because he just doesn't have a fold button. You notice I 2-bet raised the limp there with the 6-9 off, whereas before with a king 9 I just checked behind. I think it's the king 9 has a lot more playability, so we don't want to you know, in position with deeper stacks it plays fine. We don't want to raise and get raised off it, you know, because you might do that with a hand like 4s. You might limp jam 4s, something like that. So I think I might give this guy a walk. Feeling kind. Whereas the, you know, the 6-9 has very little playability. I mean, we're in position, which is great, but I mean 6-9 off is pretty trashy hand. So if he does happen to raise us off of it, we don't really mind so much. So I prefer to put that into the bluffing, you know, a bluff raising category. At the same time, it's very important in that instance that we do raise the limp. It's really critical because we don't want him to make a habit of just limping in. We want him to just fold and just behave the way we want him to, which is just give up the pot and let us have the chips. And so if he sees that, especially as there's, you know, there's a couple of shorter stacks out there, if he knows he can't get away with that, you know, that's likely to have a good effect. He knows he can't get away with the limping. It just makes our life a little bit easier. $80, getting a huge price. I don't know if we can fold this one, unfortunately. 8 and 4, 5, 4 is 9, 17. Yeah, we can't. We're just a little bit too short. He's only M6. Yes, what a hold, what a hold. We've been opening a fair bit, but it's a bit of a gross jam with Queen 8 off. Don't really like it. I was saying before how we can kind of control the table with selective aggression and leveraging our stack, and that's an instance where we've been chipping away at our opponents, and now we give them short enough where we actually can call and take a stand, even with a marginal hand like pocket threes in that spot. Because he's only down to M6, and that's a nice way to do it. You keep accumulating, you're putting your opponents under pressure, and then they finally take a stand. But by that time, they're so short that wow, it would have been nice to get a little bit of action there. But you can see the table is playing quite aggressively now. Quite aggressively, opposite, quite tight now. I think I will maintain the aggression here with this raise. I do think he's going to jam a decent frequency, but he can still be stealing with pretty wide. And he has just seen us make the call with threes. But this is one of those 3-bets where he's kind of like a little bit of ownage, We've kind of been owning him a bit, and he's almost like, that's it, Queen 6 suited. I can't take this shit anymore, I'm just going to jam it, kind of thing. So I do think he's going to open up his jamming range a lot. At the same time, there's still a pretty decent bubble factor. A shorter stack in play than two quite short stacks in him, so he has a high bubble factor. And I wonder how wide he does actually jam here. I wonder how wide he is actually taking it. If we actually have the best hand and he has like a King 10 suited, something like that, not impossible. These two are fairly tight, so that's good. I think I'm just going to bet smallish here for 598. It's a little bit risky, but it's pretty hard for him to call here. Wow, ace 10. Ace 10 suited. I think I will call with this one here. Oh, he flopped a set, but you can see he tanked with it for ages. And we managed to hold there, so that's good. You see he tanked with it for ages, so I think we were pretty unlucky to run into... Well, I think he's folding an ace, putting it simply. I think he's only continuing with sets and two pairs, which is just against a button steal, even though he's not necessarily that loose. Oh, we're actually three-handed now. I see Irish got chips, which is just not a big part of his range. I just don't think he's ever called. Even with ace king, I have a hard time believing they'd call there. I think we look like we have a flush or two pair straight. It's pretty hard for him to think that we just check floated out of position. And the truth is that I wouldn't be. That is actually one of my few bluffing hands, would actually be, twos and fours, that sort of thing. But anyway, that's that. I think defending here is probably okay in the big blind. It's one of these spots where we actually probably do have the best hand a decent percentage of the time, but I don't really want to... Do I want to check call with it? I don't think we really want to check call with king high here. Not when he's folding a fair bit to opens and we're in a fairly good position anyway, kind of thing. Now hopefully he behaves himself and still folds in this spot. We did give him a couple of walks before. Does have a good 3-betting stack size though, so that's definitely a concern. And he is the lowest now, so he might feel kind of like I have to take a stand on the short stack, but there's not a lot between him and Irish. Be interesting to see how these guys, you know, how they do adjust, how they do play. So I think we're just going to go ahead and, you know, we don't need to bet big here. Our bet's pretty polarized. Most of the, well, not polarized, but I think just betting small is fine. Interesting that he check calls. So I think in this instance I will fire again because he probably does have, well, will I? Actually have the 6 as well, don't we? Actually, probably doesn't make too much sense to actually bet again here, does it? Actually seems like he's got like Queen 10 with a club. So I think I'm going to check. Oh, it's such a bad card. 10 Jack and Queen 10 with a club are definitely hands he might have. I don't think he's going to bet though with a 10, but he might go for thin value, but that would be pretty sick. I don't think we can quite fold. The thing is that he can just have the sort of hand he had. Where he's got a high club. We bet very small on the flop. And if I didn't have the 6, I'd still call just king high. Because we have the king of clubs, so he can't have that hand. 18. I think if this hand was suited, I would just shove it. But offsuit, I think just 3-betting it to fold is okay. You could argue for defending as well. I think both are okay. These guys are very level now, which isn't such a bad thing, because the bubble factor is quite high for these guys. $36 to $39 on the right, getting a bit short there. Get these guys to fight it out for once. It feels like we're in every hand. This looks like a limp raise, limp raise call. Is that what happened? Wow. Snap raise. Smells like a 7 or spades to me. King 9 of spades or 7-8, and he's just decided, no, my 7's going to be good often enough here. And that is certainly going to annoy Irish. Wow, Irish flats. Huge. Wow, big stack checks. This is a very weird hand. Big stack might even have 8-9. And he's checked with a straight. That'd be awesome. It's pretty sick here if big stack just, I mean, it's such a fishy check raise. Wow, just snap check raise flop fold. A very kind of fishy line, wasn't it? Quite fishy it seemed. I mean, he's just not really repping anything on a 10-10, what was it, 10-10-7? You know, just not really repping anything on that board. King 4 is 8. I think I will just shove here. It's kind of close, but it's definitely a jam based on ICM. It's an easy jam, but the thing is that we have to be a little bit careful because he's probably not calling correctly with ICM. I think he's kind of a bit annoyed, a bit frustrated at the moment, so he's probably probably calling a little bit wider, which hurts us as well. So we've got to be careful. I mean, I presume, I could be wrong. So I think I will just go for a delayed c-bet here. Just in case he had a hand like fours, you know, or something like that. Maybe he's defended with, you know, a king eight of clubs. I don't think he calls with king eight of clubs on the turn once we delayed c-bet. It looks like we have like a jack queen, I think, or like a, you know, something like that, a jack or a weak ace or even king 10. Yeah, I mean, it's close. I mean, you could definitely argue for just giving up on that board because it does smash his range pretty hard, but I think it's okay to go for the delayed one since our hand is pretty useless. Hands 9 high. And once he double checks, I mean, it is quite possible that he's just given up. So I think I will fire here. And I think he may check raise some of the time. But I think some of the time he might just give up. Wow, what a card. I think this is going to look really bluffy now. You just have to hope he hasn't trapped us here with, you know, queens or eights or something. Flop queen 8. I think this is going to look really bluffy, this bet. Hopefully he hasn't got ace king either. That would be pretty sick. Could have 8-10. That's a big possibility. Pocket 10s is possible. So unfortunately the spade came. I don't think he has spades, but he could have 8-10. Don't think he has jack 9. I mean, let's think about this. I mean, we should still have the best hand a lot. Just thinking if we can make it like 123,000 here as a bluff. And if we get called by hero called, I mean, it looks like he's got an 8, ace 8, 8, 9. I just don't think he can hero often enough with an 8. So we're better off just, you know, 8, 9 I don't think is calling. So I think we can just check back. But it's, you know, it's obviously pretty close. He does seem like the type that can hero, but that board run out was just so bad. It was just a, it was just a really bad run out for that hand, the hand that he had. Actually, quite like that result. I think I'd rather play against big stack than Irish, to be honest. Yeah, I don't mind keeping them both short as well. I think it's fine. I think big stack is, I could be wrong here. I said he was going to call a bit wider than ICM before, but I do feel like he might be a little bit more susceptible to ICM pressure. So for example, if we were to raise here, I do think he's a lot more likely to fold than Irish would be in that spot, which suits us, you know, because it gives us a better chance of going for the win. If Irish jams here, I don't think we can quite fold because he's probably going to do it with smaller aces and some king jacks and stuff like that, queen 9, and just gets there. But yeah, I mean, we're just too strong against his range to be folding there. And that's exactly what I was just saying. He just seems like the type to definitely just take a stand like that. But I don't think big stack jams that hand, you know. It's just unfortunate, you know, because we've done all the hard work and now just like that, boom, you know, he pops back up. The other thing about that king jack hand before too is if we bet small, can we ever get him to turn his hand into a bluff? You know, that's definitely something interesting to think about as well. If we bet small on the river, can we ever get him to turn his hand into a bluff? It'd be pretty funky. I think he's going to 4-bet here a decent percentage, but I just think flatting is not quite the play with King 10, but it's close. But I don't really want to flat with that out of position. He is, as I said, you know, he does seem to want to tango. He's a bit. I feel like he's almost an emotional type, you know. Takes it personal when you raises his blinds and that sort of thing, you know. You're raising me again. And we have a pretty good image, I think, at the moment. I think players are a little bit worried about us, 3-betting them and so forth. Just making things a bit awkward for them. But at the same time, you know, it does probably mean that they'll attack us a little bit wide in certain spots. As we saw with the Queen 9, you know. I wonder if we should just raise or jam. I just think, again, against this guy, I think raising is fine. But it's pretty annoying if he jams, because you could have it like a 10 jack and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, that's really annoying. It's right on for me, you know. If it was 1 or 2M less, I would have just shoved. But the problem with ace deuce is it just doesn't play well, you know, because even if it's got jack 9 suited, you know, it's a flip. But it's just annoying allowing him to, you know, take the initiative in that spot. It's obviously pretty annoying. ICM says it's an easy jam, but if he's going to be jamming a lot, then definitely jamming first in. Or you know, we can call if he's just jamming everything. I mean, we can call ace 2 if he's a maniac, but he hasn't shown to be a maniac yet. But he's starting to lift his game a bit here. But I don't think we're going to stop just yet. You know, if he shoves again, yeah, maybe we will. It's a pretty small one. I think I'm going to let him have it again. And at some point, we're going to have to take a stand, obviously. The thing is, we don't really want to... we really don't want to lose our sort of edge over the table. We've been kind of dominating, and now we're just looking like we're a little bit... Wow. That is so gross. Why can't we just wake up with a hand there? Like jacks or kings? Well, that makes it a bit easier. Actually, we would have been live. We would have been live, King Jack. If they had shown their hands, I may have just said, hey, let's gamble. Probably not, but yeah. So I think if Big Stack's going to play this hand, he may as well just, well, I think he would have been better off just, that's probably fine what he did. We just been raised there and Irish jams. You should be calling with any 2 here. This is going to be one of those annoying ones where the shot stack's going to pop back up. Especially in this instance. I mean, he already got us with the Queen 9. Okay, the poor guy lost a flip 3-handed with his ace queen, but just die already. Ooh. Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? No one raises this time? Just a slightly short there. He's slightly too deep there, I think. Call Queen 9. Jack Queen suited, I might think about it. Don't think we can quite raise on him right now. At M5, he's probably jamming pretty wide, especially since we've been so active. Big Stack did fold, Big Stack 24, I'm talking about the guy who's just jammed all in. He did raise to, I mean, he did fold to him last orbit, and now he did jam, so. just think it's kind of interesting that he did. Oh my lordy, lordy! This is getting out of hand. This is just getting out of hand. And on it goes. So I think if I'm going to raise there, I'm probably actually going to 4-bet jam big stack if he raises. And that's something, a spot that I'm going to look for. We're probably slightly deep for it at the moment. I don't think I'm going to fold here if Irish jams, you know. I mean, it's not great from an ICM point of view. But he's just jamming too wide. I mean, the Queen 9 before. You know, from an ICM perspective, it's kind of not good. But I just feel like if we don't take a stand there, you know, it's just kind of all over for us. But we just can't win any hands. We did well. We got down to 3-handed, and then we just can't win any hands. I think against his stealing range, it does look like he might just be inducing. But King 9 I'm going to take anyway. See if we can actually win a flip for once. We just can't win any hands. It's like 5 in a row or something we lost all ins. So yeah, I mean, that's obviously a disappointing finish. But yeah, I mean, the Queen King is definitely, it's very, you know, debatable because for ICM it's a fold. But the thing is that I just feel like, you know, he jammed Queen 9 before. He's jamming pretty wide. I mean, King Queen, we're going to have him crushed. He's probably jamming, you know, King 8 suited, and he's M9-ish. You know, Queen 10, Queen 9 suited he jammed before. Queen 8 suited he's probably jamming. Queen 10, Queen Jack. There's a lot of hands we dominate. We're flipping with all the Ace X's. He probably just 3-bets Ace King and Ace Queen, I would think. So we're just always getting the right price. But from a chip EV point of view, not so much from a tournament EV point of view. And I just don't think, though, we can let ourselves now get to that point where they're just jamming on us like that, because we're opening pretty wide. We've had good control of the table, and now all of a sudden we've lost that, and we're just starting to fold all the way down. And you know, next thing you know, we're the short stack, and we're like, hey, I wish we had have taken that King Queen before against the monkey jammer kind of thing, you know. You know, not that he was jamming too bad. You know, the Queen 9 suit is not such a bad jam. It's obviously just pretty frustrating when you know, you get to that spot, feel you've played well, you set it up for the win, and then, you know, they get there. So if we had just won one of them at least, we could have gone to work heads up. But we lost all those all-ins at the end. But sometimes that's the way you win some, you lose some. But overall, I think we played pretty well that final table. Like I said, King Queen call from an ICM perspective is definitely on the loose side. But I just felt it was time to take a stand, you know. It could have been a bit of frustration creeping in, but I don't think so. I mean, the guy's just jamming on us a little bit too much, and to just fold now again is just, you know, I didn't want to be little Bo Peep who's lost his sheep, and just the guy that raise folds and just gives you free money. So I took a stand, and we lost that flip as well. So I think we've got ourselves definitely set up for the win, and I think a lot of the times there we're just going to finish off in style and come away with the W. But things obviously just didn't go our way in the end. But it's disappointing because, like I said, a lot of the 3-betting and just the opening frequency and the pressuring, I think overall was, was pretty good. And I did sort of in the turbo, $13 turbo, I did sort of miss a couple of spots, I think, and overall probably missed a couple of spots. But it's been a long session, this one, almost 10 hours. It's getting a little bit tight at the end, but I think I played not too bad overall. So you probably, I think we saw some interesting poker nonetheless. So something to take away, hopefully, from that passage of play, especially at the end there. So thanks again for tuning in. I'll stop waffling now. You can, you can tell it's been a long session, a bit frazzled. Going to get some rest and do it all once again tomorrow. See you then.